There is this funny belief system where we have been taught that money is kind of crap. And if you have a lot, then you're going to be a bad person. And if you have very little, then you're not enough. And there's this like identity issue around money. And so here's the conversation that we're going to have today. You can be a billionaire and you can be wildly happy at the same time. Okay, think about that. Think about the belief system that every single person walking this planet, 8 or so billion people, and every single one has the ability to be a billionaire and be wildly happy at the same time. Just because we look outside into the world and we see things doesn't necessarily mean that that's truth. It doesn't necessarily mean that what they're doing because they've achieved a certain level of success means that you can't have that because of this. And so with the clients that I work with primarily very highly successful, mostly men actually. And the belief system is this, is that one, who do I need to be loved and accepted? Okay, success, check. This is what I need to be valuable in the world. And then 2 is that I have to hustle, I have to grind, I have to sacrifice pieces of my life to be happy. That sounds horrible. That sounds like a horrible belief system. And so here are things that I have learned over the course of my time. 10 years ago, the version of me did not know, 1, we can choose our beliefs. 2, we can change our identity. Okay. 3, we get to create this however we want. That was like a hell yes to me. That was like the day I woke up. I was like, what do you mean we don't have to just accept societal story and societal's way of being to, get the 4-year degree and get the career in corporate America and grind and hustle and work until we're 65 and then retire off of 40%. Because when we look around the world, we saw lots of people still to this day that are accepting that as truth and accepting that as reality. So step 1 in this new way, right, of like allowing yourself to be wildly happy and a billionaire is 1, don't make it mean anything besides it could be a fun experience. We're not gripping to it. We're not clinging to it. We don't need it. But what if you are? What could you do in the world? So when it comes to finances, something that I'm playing with is me being and I want you to think about this, okay? Me being a vessel for wealth to come in where I retire my entire family. So I'm playing with this vision and they're very excited to see if how this goes. Is that what if, like, what would my family be like if money wasn't a stress for them? My brother would travel more. My older brother probably would be happier and a lot less business stress, and he would be in the energy of like play and expansion. He has the most incredible robotics company. And the guy is just genius. But if we took the money stress away from my entire family, okay, and I pulled them out of the constructs of societal money, right? And I did that through providing value and helping a lot of people. So really, really giving back and then taking that and funneling that into my immediate family of my 2 brothers, my 2 sisters, and all of their kids, okay? And my kids. My kids get to too. That could be a really fun adventure. And that could be a really incredible purpose, right? That I'm not only helping people like you see this all differently, but then I take that and now I'm a funnel for good. And then once that's done, well, then what's the next level? Who else can I help? Who else can I help alleviate the pain of the world because of who I am and who I came here to be? I came here for massive impact. I feel that. I have no problem being on camera. I have no problem just saying whatever it is that I want. I am authentic. I'm real. But I wasn't always this way. And so when you look at me, you're like, okay, Becca, you could, but wait a second, okay? Hit the pause button. I lived in central Minnesota, froze my ass off there. Cheers to Florida, by the way. And I was living a life based upon what would make my dad proud of me. I was living a life that would look from the outside very successful, when internally I never once asked myself, Becca, who are you and what do you want? Because I didn't believe that the dreams and the hopes of my heart, right? The things that I really wanted to do, like I was obsessed with art. I loved graphic design. But then it was like, well, there's no money in that. So what did I do? I went straight to the 4-year degree. I went to University of Wisconsin Stout for 1 year for human resources because I looked to see who made the most money. I never once asked myself, do I like working with people and organizing a business in the realm of hiring and firing and benefits? Absolutely not. There was nothing in me that was like, oh, I am lit up about that. It was the dollar. It was, my dad will love and accept me if I, okay? Big thing to heal here. Understanding, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you believing what you're believing? This is the path to self-mastery. And this is the reason why people work with me, is because they want to look at, okay, here's the foundation and the platform that I play on. Is this making me feel fulfilled? Are these belief systems working for me and what this really truly wants? Or is there an elevated version of what it is that I so desire to create that I can do instead? And I take you from here to here very efficiently. We can have like the Minnesota. So this is kind of a funny personality trait. Like, I'm from Minnesota. I am very country. If you take me out to the country, you will see I can saddle my own horse. I can throw bales. I can do all the things. I can chop wood. Don't ask my brother about it. But I live in Florida, very beach girl. Okay. Love the sun, but my personality is very New York. We don't have time to spend time healing. We don't have time to change our belief systems. We don't have time to spend years and years and years of self-development. We need results now. So if that's ultimately true, that we need results right now, I'm not saying like, what's the quick fix? I'm not into that. I'm saying, what is the most efficient path from point A to point B, and how do we get there? So my focus for you is I go directly to the root. That's what I did for me. What is the root? The root is that I got married. I lived in Minnesota. I went and got a 4-year degree. I did things that I didn't want to go, all for the root of my dad's approval. And when I realized that I didn't need his approval, that all I needed was my own approval and my own confidence to authentically walk my path, to say, you know what? Yeah, my ex-husband lives in Minnesota and I fly back every other week to see my kids, and we still share, full parenting. He definitely does more homework than I do, and I'm not complaining. But I created this, and I love flying up to Minnesota in the middle of the winter for 5 days, having an extraordinary time with my kids, building the relationship, talking to them when they're gone, and then coming back to authentic me, living in a state that I have dreamed about living in since I was like 11 years old. But it took me until I was 36. 36. That time frame was me not honoring myself. That time frame was me not choosing. I mean, obviously at 11, maybe 18. I had multiple opportunities to live where I wanted to live, and I chose not to, out of fear, out of these stories of why I can't have what I want. And so I'm just here to tell you, like, I've been where you've been. And there is not just hope, there is a destined path for you if you allow yourself to trust yourself and to listen to what's going on inside. So here's my tool for you today, okay? Is this a hell yes, or is this a hell no? And that takes us out of this gray energy of like, maybe I want this, maybe I don't. Maybe I want to go here, maybe I don't. What do you want to experience, okay? And then is this the piece of you like, this is a hell yes because it makes me feel safe? This is your ego, the piece of you that keeps you safe. Or this is like in my body intuitively, because your body is so wise. The answer is yes. Now you can make some decisions. And then the hard part, leaping into them. The beginning of 2023, I felt this urge, like I'm moving. My lease was up, I don't know what, November, December of this year. I knew that I was moving, but I didn't know where. So I leaned back and I was like, okay, I know I need to move somewhere. At this time I was in Melbourne, Florida, so right close to the ocean. And I knew I was moving. And so there was this exploratory, like, openness of like, I don't necessarily have a clear picture. It's a hell yes to move. This is no longer an aligned way to live or a place to live, but I didn't know what it was. So I looked in the area, I looked at building, I looked at buying, I looked at renting houses, and everything kept falling through. And so it's this, when you're walking the path of alignment, okay, exploratory is the best way to go about it. But two, be detached. It's almost like dating, right? You're like meeting people, allowing yourself to feel the flow and like flow through it. Don't get stuck on one path, like I must build or I must buy or I must rent a house. Instead, it's like, well, what do you want it to feel like? And so I wanted to feel spacious. I wanted to feel like an upgrade. I wanted it to feel like a frequency that I could be in, where people that are like me, the way that I work. Now in Melbourne, I was a little bit of a diamond in the rough. I was like up early, moving, hustling. Like I felt like for the most part, I was running faster than everybody around me. And that wasn't helpful for me. I didn't want to lead the pack. I want to put myself in situations where I'm the little fish in a big pond. Okay. Because I grow. It's almost like playing sports, right? I put myself on a volleyball team that is well beyond me. I can play, right, at a very like high intermediate, maybe almost pro level. But if you put me on a team where it's just casual, I can play like shit too, right? Like it's easy for us to put ourselves in situations in groups where that expands us. And so that's why I made this mastermind. I have a mastermind that opens every 6 months. The next one is February 1st. And then I think August 1st is the second. So twice a year. And I bring in the right people, right? So it's almost like the vision I have, the feeling of the people, the frequency of the people. And so what it is, it's a multitude of frequencies. And I hold this high bar and I let whoever is in there rise to that level. Like I hold. It is the most incredible experience that I have ever had in a group setting. I want to say, I don't know if I'll ever stop doing it, but everything evolves, everything shifts, everything pivots. So life can be a really fun adventure if you let it. I ended up moving to Orlando, away from the ocean, and everybody knew me as the girl that loved the ocean. I didn't know why I was moving here. I didn't know where to go. And I ended up, the first place that I looked at became a hell yes. And maybe for the first couple weeks, there was some middle ground. I still had my old place, a new place. So I was in the new place, but lots of stuff at the old place, still kind of transferring, figuring things out, getting rid of things. And then traveling back and forth to Minnesota in the meantime, plus holidays. And there was a lot going on. And so for the first couple weeks of moving into a new path, it feels destabilizing. It's destabilizing because you're no longer that person there and you're not yet the person that is here. And so kind of you're in this middle ground. And so that's why it's like this staying in that exploratory field of like, oh, this feels interesting. Okay, I'm here. And then having the tools to process that. And that's part of self-mastery. That this was the first full transition that I've ever done, you guys, that was full of grace. That was full of grace. I had a couple hard moments, but in totality, it was probably one of the most incredible transitions. And I love it here. I love the energy. I love the people. I love the gym. Okay. So that's important because that was my biggest fear, is that the gym was my home in Melbourne. And so to let go of that and all of my friends there to move into this, and you guys, there was no reason for me to move. It wasn't like I needed to make a move. I felt called to evolve. So it's not like, oh, I'm moving for work, or, there's this societal belief system like, why move? Well, why did you need to move? Why would you go through all of that during the holidays amidst all of this travel and all of this craziness that's going on? Like, why would you do that? Because I believe in evolution and growth over a lifetime, and who I become in the process. I become a better mentor. I become a better coach. I become a better mother. I become a better friend. I meet new people. I have new experiences. I feel extraordinary evolving. Okay. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Where is the societal story that you're telling holding you back? And what gets to be true for you? What gets to be true for you? You get to pick that. You get to pick what you believe, how this gets to go for you, what's next for you, what is in the best alignment, what is your hell yes life? So start by this. White out your entire life. Okay, white it out. Goodbye, gone. You're sitting with this blank canvas in front of you. You have every single paint color available to you, every single paint color. If that is ultimately true, and you can paint this any way that you want, how would you create your life? And if it's not in the way that you are living now, what is the cost of keeping your life the way it is? What are you losing out on? What are you missing out on? What part of the evolving pieces of you that need that, right? That desire that it's who you become. This whole get a home and live in it for the rest of your life. This whole get a job and stay there forever. None of that is conducive to the soul. That's completely conducive to the ego. And when you're living in a life where ego is leading, it will eventually crumble. It's like a relationship. You get into it for safety instead of alignment. Alignment is an inner game. And when you learn to play it on repeat in all areas of your life, what you wear, what you eat, where you go, how life goes for you, how you want to create, that is going to be a vital aspect of you moving into your next level. If you desire to work with me, feel free to go to beccagrabinski.com and I would love to support you. There's a multitude of options, but let me just give you. One is VIP, working with me one-on-one, where we drill down directly into your energy, into your life, and we reconstruct it, okay? 2 is the mastermind, opens twice a year. February 1st is the next upcoming one, August 1st. And you can get on the wait list if you want to do that as well. That is the group aspect of it. You also get 2 one-on-one calls with me in that 6 months, which is really great. And then 3, maybe for you, it's just a one-time session, or maybe for you, it's just the redefine series. So if you're there's this piece of my life that I really kind of want to redefine, what does that look like? Private message me and I can get you connected with one of those as well. Hey, this is the area of my life I want to work with. I want to redefine this. And then I'll send you the link. All right, you are amazing. You can have, and you can be and do in anything that you desire. And so I want you to trust yourself in this process and allow yourself to really have the life that you want, right? At the last day of your life, I want you to look back at this moment. What do you wish you would have decided? And then do that. Have a good day.